This segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is segment 3 of our Southern Woods and Waters. I have with me Joey Monteleone. So proud to have him. I wanted to also say, since we said this about TWRA, they do a thankless job a lot. But we are, and I keep saying, we're truly blessed here in Tennessee to have what we have, the availability of all the game animals and the fish. And all the biologists work really hard to make sure that we all get to enjoy.
You know, something that people don't realize is the restoration programs that have happened here. So I'm going to be 66 next month, but I know the people that were here many, many moons ago said, you never saw any white-tailed deer here now.
No.
Never saw them.
Yeah.
Never saw any turkeys.
That's right.
They started moving turkeys in 1989. The deer restoration program, anybody doubt that that's a success?
That's a huge success.
That didn't happen by accident.
No, the deer season didn't start till 1959.
And then the turkeys, we trap turkeys and trade them to other people for other animals. Elk.
Such as elk.
Elk. Think about elk. You know, I think we brought in 300 elk. I think that herd's up to like 500. We've got 5 lucky hunters a year that get drawn to you know, I think 1 bids, but 4 are drawn to hunt elk. Hunt elk in Tennessee that elk hadn't been here in probably 100 years or more. Or more. You know, interesting.
It is. Black bear. Look at the black bear.
Right. And some people may not like it, but we've got mountain lions coming in. This is getting to be what it was before. And if you're a true outdoorsman, you embrace that. You know, and for me, again, it's like it is a thankless job, and those guys and gals do a great job of, you know, and they're not all game wardens. They've got construction, you know, they've got creel samples, they've got fish biologists, they'll tell you how to dig your pond.
What about the young boys doing all the plowing on the tractors and making the food plots and everything?
Absolutely.
Down to the secretary having to file all this stuff and file your records and my records. Everybody works together at TWRA to make it happen.
I got to tell you, Director Ed Carter, Don King, all the way through. And
Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and you know what? They're all real people. It's not somebody you can't get in contact with when you meet them.
They'll answer their phones.
They'll answer their phone, and when you meet them, it's just like meeting the guy next door.
They're fishermen and hunters, too.
They are.
They love the sport just like we do.
Good people.
Good people. I got to tell you, the reason I said that to begin with is look at how many records have been broken here lately.
Exactly. Again, that doesn't happen. That's management.
Wasn't the yellow perch just broken yesterday?
Yes, I think Cherokee Lake.
Yes.
And in their vision statement, it says they want to have, what they want to do is have populations that are sustainable, and that means that you find all these creatures here that we get to see things that we never saw before that are coming back here. And again, a sustainable population doesn't mean they're here, they're gone. They've carefully managed that elk herd, you know, so that we're going to have, you know, once we get those established here, we'll have them forever, I think.
We have a young kid right now in the audience watching the show, and he's an avid watcher of this show, wanted to meet you. That's why he came up here tonight.
I don't know what money, do I?
No, I don't think so. But he came up here because he wanted to meet you. He's going to have an opportunity one day to hunt an elk,
right?
In Tennessee,
there's no
in
question
his own home state.
And you know, you go back in, and we don't talk a lot about small game because some people don't hunt them. But
I love it.
Yeah, you think about that young boy, that 4-year-old with a squirrel. We got all kind of squirrels. We got 3 different species. We got the red, gray, and fox. The flying squirrels are not real squirrels. Rabbits, rabbits. You know,
rabbits everywhere.
Quail. I'm hearing more quail.
Quail are coming back.
Yeah, and that all ends February 28th. So you got plenty of time to get out there. And again, hunt, fish, get those kids out there, show them what a coon track looks like, show them or let them listen to turkey goblins or quail.
And they're already gobbling too, by the way.
Absolutely. And boy, do we have the turkeys?
We got the turkey.
Yeah.
Hey, Joey, we got some people that want to talk to us here. Here we got Mike. Mike, how can we help you tonight?
Hey, I got a question to ask you and Joey.
Okay.
On the tilapia you were talking about, do you have to have a special license to fish for them, like a rainbow trout or anything?
No.
Is there a certain limit? And hey, I thought you might want to know, down here on Kentucky Lake, they've been catching a bunch of crappie like in about 14 foot of water. I know a guy went and caught about 30 the other day, and they've been using road runners along the boat slip, just rolling real slow. Just thought you might want to head down his way.
You bet, Mike.
That 3 times.
That sounds great, Mike. And I will tell you, the tilapia, there's no limit. because it's not indigenous to Tennessee.
Right.
But you do have to have a fishing license.
Got to have your regular fishing
Your
license.
regular fishing license. But you do not have to have an extra permit or anything to fish for tilapia. And I'll tell you, they're catching them with just how you catch bluegill, just a bobber and a wiggler or a night crawler.
I think you could catch those again. You know, you could throw a small tube, you could throw a curly tail grub, you could throw a small crankbait. Yeah, when you're catching them up to 6 pounds, I can almost guarantee.
6 pounds, 6 ounces.
Yeah.
That's a big tilapia.
That's a big tilapia.
That's a big tilapia.
That'd feed me and you.
But Mike, we hope that helps you out. That's a great question. But no, only have to have your Tennessee fishing license. So that's great. We got Charlie. Charlie, how can we help you tonight?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I ain't watched your show long. I just tuned in here, so you had Aaron Tippin on there.
Well, we'd like to get Aaron Tippin on here now.
You just insulted Aaron Tippin. I can tell you that.
Yeah. But we got Joey Monteleone on here. And,
Lord.
Yes. And this isn't Aaron Tippin, but now if you know him, tell him we'd like to have him. But no, this is my good friend Joey Monteleone.
I'm sorry, I just tuned it in here like 3 minutes ago.
Hey, we're just glad you tuned in.
We're tickled to death. Yeah,
That's right.
Keep tuning in, and
That's
we'll tell
right.
Aaron Tippin he won the Joey Monteleone lookalike contest.
That's exactly right. Great deal. All right, thank you so much. And we got Chris. Chris, how can we help you tonight?
Yes, I had a question for you.
Okay.
Hello.
Go ahead, Chris.
I listen to your show, watch your show every week, sir.
Thank you.
I was listening a few weeks ago where you said, need to get some kids to get some coal bucks out.
Yeah.
And I took a kid about 3 weeks ago to get some coal bucks out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Chris.
Hello?
Chris, go ahead. Can you hear us, Chris?
Yeah, he shot one of my big deer. What do you do about that?
You pat them on the back and tell them what a great job they did. Because, can I say this, Chris? Even though they shot one of your big bucks,
I mean, that was my hit list buck,
well, you probably made that child's life so incredible.
And he'll hunt for the rest of his life. Because he had a good experience.
That's right, because you started him off.
Had the spot on the wall.
Yeah, you just, but you just made a future hunter.
You can still fill that spot. It's just going to be with his deer.
Yeah, yeah. And plus, hopefully that deer, if they got it to last of the season, that deer made some others that are going to fill his shoes in the near future.
140 inches. He's a good deer. I done had the spot picked out.
Well, that's a great one right there, Chris. So congratulations. I'm glad you let him do it anyway. You just made a lifetime hunter, and we need more of them. Thank you. All right, we got Daryl. Daryl, how can we help you tonight? Daryl? Daryl? Okay. Jim, how can we help you tonight?
Oh, yes, thank you. You were talking about that elk. Reminded me of when I was raised up in southeastern Kentucky, and lo and behold, it's almost unbelievable. Where I was raised up, I can go up in there and see elk now. I would like to see this program take off in Tennessee. They've got some things that we got to work with, but it can be done.
Oh, yeah.
I want to thank you for your program. I get all the outdoor magazines, and I read and see the big shows, commercials, but I just enjoy watching you, your hometown boys here in Tennessee.
That's right.
You come along with a lot of great ideals, and I appreciate what you're doing for us sportsmen in local Tennessee. Well, the question I have, I just hope that the TWRA really look seriously into this elk thing. I think it can take off. Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate that. And Joey, the elk has taken off.
It has. It's being managed, and it just they've been gone a long time. It takes time. You can't.
It does.
It's no microwave mentality here. You can't just boom have an elk herd. you know, it's gonna, you know, you got to put them in there in a natural spot. Make sure there's a good place for them to feed, and still protect them until we get again a sustainable population, which is what the TWRA says they want to do.
And there's other factors, though, Joey, involved that because of things like we don't know what they've done to crop deprivation and farmers and how their landowners, area landowners around Royal Blue, how it's affecting them. And we got to be careful with that.
It's a slow process because you can't undo, you know, it's kind of like we've learned some lessons from the wild hogs and some other things. You can't undo it if you get it wrong.
You're right.
So kind of nurturing that along is a good way to do it. Slow but steady.
Slow and steady is always the best.
That wins the race.
That wins the race. I tell you what, we've got to do now our tip of the week, so let's go to it. It is being brought to you by Davidson County Farmers Co-op over there off of Dickerson Road. They are your one-stop shop, I promise you, for feeding your deer, your bear, your dog, your chicken, your cat, your horse, your cow, everything you need. Scott Cooper and that fine group over there will help you at the Davidson County Farmers Co-op. Joey, I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
When the waters are muddy and you're in your kayak, because you like to stream fish and river fish, that seems to muddy up a lot quicker than your big impoundment lakes.
It does.
What changes your mind from going from a clear or a mid-clear to a muddy? How do you change your tactic?
Well, one of the things that you want to do is realize that if you understand the fish, bass feed by sight. So there's a couple of cures for that. And for me, it's like, this bait doesn't have a rattle in it, but it's that famous chartreuse and black. I've added the red hook to the front, so it's very visual. And that fish, and you still want it to be somewhat subtle, so you can go with a rattle, without a rattle. If it's really muddy water, I'll use a rattle and crankbait. Here's something that I did. You know, we can always alter these baits. You come by the show tomorrow, I'm going to have all the baits that I fish with. This is the box that I carry.
That's right.
This was a double willow leaf spinner bait. All I did was cut the front willow leaf blade off, and willow gives you more flash than any other blade type.
That's right.
So you get more flash. I added what they call their perfect skirt to that, and it's in a great shad color. You see a little bit of blue jumping off of that?
Yeah.
So again, subtle, and then get close to cover, because it's kind of like when it's dark, you know, you're afraid to kind of just go running.
You kind of want to know where you feel.
So fish will just kind of migrate closer to cover. So you can throw this close to cover. I've made it very weedless by going with one blade. Okay. Same thing with the crankbait. If you're throwing that 1.5 or the 2.5, it's got that square bill. It'll bounce off that wood and you get a reaction strike. So fishing closer to cover, multiple casts. Think about making it a little bit more visual for the fish.
Awesome. Awesome tip, ladies and gentlemen. That's well worth watching the show. That tip right there. Hey, we got to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Joey on here telling us an easy tilapia recipe that I promise you is so easy, I can do it. We'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters.